Emily DeSimone, and I'm your host. Thank you so much for joining us for the 24th Annual Garden State Film Festival. This year, we have over 200 films and film-centered events from various countries, all happening across 9 venues from March 26th to the 29th this year. Joining me today is director Trayston L. Corpy of the student New Jersey hometown documentary short, Trey. Hometown short, Trey. Trey, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be on here again with this interview.
Absolutely, and congratulations for your documentary short being accepted into the Garden State Film Festival. Can you tell our live viewers a bit about your documentary short?
Yes, of course. So my documentary short, Trey, it is about me. It's a little bit of just a peek into my hobbies and interests and how it exactly led me to filmmaking. So it follows the journey of me going through like being a student and developing a love for art and then developing a love for music and playing guitar myself, and then how it all led me into filmmaking and how that's what I want to pursue as a career going forward. So it's just showcasing the conflict in between choosing which direction I wanted to go into because I loved all three of these hobbies, and that how I feel filmmaking connects everything together and allows me to have a little place in, like, dip my fingers in each little hobby and interest and actually, you know, turn it into something artistically pleasing for other people to view and for me to feel like to showcase all my artistic hobbies and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's amazing. Look,
Thank you,
something
thank
that
you.
I personally love about the arts, whether it's, film and television, whether it's, theater or acting within film or music or visual art, as in like painting, it'll always be there with us. No matter what we do in life, we can
Hmm.
always do it. So it's always there. So that's something that's amazing that I personally love about this industry. So, what was this filming process like for you?
So it was definitely interesting because the reason why I decided to make this film as well was it was a bit of a challenge to myself. I am in a digital film program. It's digital film East Brunswick at East Brunswick Magnet School of the Arts. So I have a couple of peers. Some I call they're my best friends now. We've been in the program together for 4 years now. We're all seniors getting ready to graduate. We all tend to help each other out on each other's productions and sets, whether it's pre-production, post-production, or shooting. Um, and one thing I've always kind of fell behind on or not felt like too comfortable with is being in front of the camera myself.
Mhm.
I'm very much like, behind the camera, whether I love like boom operating and like cinematography and all that. And it's not that I don't mind acting. It's just like I'm very shy once like hit record. Like I don't know what it is. Right? It just happens to me sometimes. So my challenge was that I wanted to get more comfortable with being on camera,
Mhm.
and what better way to do that than telling my own story to a camera, just getting up close and personal with the documentary style film. And a little bit about the actual physical filming process was I did all of the directing and basically directing how the cinematography would look. But I just had my good friend Josiah Ortiz. He actually was just interviewed this past Friday for
Mhm.
our Dynasty. He was the one behind the camera hitting record and giving certain insights on how the shots should look.
Mhm.
And he was a very big help to the process of filming. I obviously wouldn't have been able to do it myself with me being in front of the camera. So I'm very appreciative to all the help that he brought to the production. He definitely helped make it happen.
I think that something that you mentioned about like networking and like you mentioned like your friends in your school, how you help each other. Congratulations on graduating this year, by the way.
Thank you.
Something that I love about the Garden State Film Festival and this industry is that you are meeting like minded people that work all different facets of the film industry, like whether it's other directors, actors, cinematographers, artists, and you can network that way. And like I've met people that met through this film festival that then went on to make further film together. So
Hmm.
that's something that I'm really excited for you. I know you said that this is your second year
Hmm.
coming back. Welcome back. So
Thank
this
you.
is another great opportunity for you to continue to meet great people to help build more projects together in the future. So you had mentioned that you had a great team and that this was challenging for you because you're a little nervous, I guess, when you said you hit the record button. What's something you would say that you've learned from making this documentary that you can bring with you into your next project?
That is a great question. So I definitely would say that I met the challenge that I set out for myself,
Mm-hmm.
but something that I would like to highlight that I learned is probably just the overall production in general, because
Mm-hmm.
this film that I made has, in my opinion, been the most well-rounded production so far that I've done in being in this program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of the cinematography, the editing, the pre-production, it just felt really complete while I continued to work on it after shooting with Josiah's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just felt sort of, it was the first time I felt like kind of content with being like proud of myself with like what I put out as a product. Because sometimes you're always proud of your product, right? But you keep looking at it and you're like, okay, like maybe I could have done this a little bit different or this better. And every time I circle back to this film, I always feel just really content and at ease with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say what I learned is I want to go into every production in the future the same way that I did with this past one. I feel that I did everything really well. And in terms of reaching out to my friends and, having them gaining their insight and seeing their suggestions and hearing them out, I guess I would say just the overall perspective that I had while I was making this film is what really helped to make it shine in
Mm-hmm.
the, end product. It was just, I kept hearing everyone out, and I have to say in the beginning that was sort of challenging because, while making a film that is about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not that you're not open to hearing suggestion, it's that it's kind of hard to hear it because it's your own story, like it's not like a story you came up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, like I actually like live this. So like when I was hearing everyone out, it was challenging at first, but once I got over that like hump, it just really helped bring everything together in the end. So I would say that's what I learned, just having like a really good perspective while being on set
Mm-hmm.
and just being able to hear everyone out is what, I would say like being able to collaborate with everyone is
Yeah.
just like really crucial in filmmaking.
So we are all our own worst critic.
Hmm.
I think you should be so proud of yourself that this is not
Thank you.
the first, this is now the second year that you are accepted into a film festival. So anytime you ever feel like that what if feeling, no, you've been in a film festival accepted twice now.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
pat yourself on the back because that is an amazing accomplishment that not everybody gets to have. So, what would you say is a director that inspired you with the style of this documentary, or a documentary that you've seen, or just a film you've seen that inspired how you put this one together?
So a couple different things for the inspiration. I unfortunately can't remember the name of the specific filmmaker currently, but I'm very into like music, like how I mentioned before.
Mhm.
I'm like a self-proclaimed music enthusiast. Like I love listening to music, like day in and day out.
Mhm.
Any chance I have, like I
Yeah,
have something playing. Like it really drives me. It's like my battery pack, sort
yeah,
of, right?
yeah, of course.
Um, and with that being said, I'm super interested in like seeing and watching little interviews and documentaries about like my favorite bands.
Mhm.
That brings me a lot of joy to see that because I just love seeing like the ins and outs and like the behind the scenes of like how
Mhm.
my favorite song was made or like how they work as like a team when it's a bigger band. So I remember about 2 years ago, I was watching a documentary about one of my favorite bands, Los Retros is their name,
Mhm.
and I remember watching it about 5 times back to back after the first watch because it was the first time I saw someone, like, really take, like, care and attention to detail with
Mhm.
how the actual film part of it looked
Mhm.
instead of just using the band as a device for people to have interest in watching this video. Like, it was shot so well and interestingly.
Mhm.
Like, they used slow motion for the B-roll, so, like, when it's, like, kind of panning in a little bit and the band member, the lead singer, he's just there, like, you can't it's almost like he doesn't know the camera's there, like, you're just kinda observing him, and then I remember certain shots of them just walking around his neighborhood or, like, going to the store with him, like, it was very personal and immersive,
Yeah.
and that just, like, moved me and kinda brought, like, a new, um, way to look at documentary filmmaking to, like, my perspective of it, because at this point, I had already made 1 documentary, and then once I watched it, I was like, "Wow, like, this is a new way to do this." And, like,
Mhm.
I like it, like, I love it actually, like, this is awesome, like, I wanna do something like this. So I remember being heavily inspired by that specific documentary about that band because I just loved how it was shot, and they would cut from the band playing music to him answering questions about certain songs and how the band started, and it was just all so fluid. And I was like, I like this. It was more visual storytelling than it was watching like a talking head. And I was like, this works. I was like, I want to try this out. So that was something that I went into the production of Trey in
Mhm.
mind, that I wanted it to be very visual, like visually pleasing, and more of the story being told from what you're seeing,
Yeah.
and to the point where you're hearing, me talking about the subject, but it's almost like you're there because as you're hearing it, you're seeing exactly what I'm talking about. So whenever I was talking about how I grew up drawing and what I
Yeah.
used to like to draw, like I had that photo there. And then when I talked about what I like to draw now, instead of it being an old photo, it was actually me drawing it right there in front. Like
Mhm.
that was my goal throughout the whole film, to just like really hone into like the visual storytelling. So that was my biggest inspiration for it. And then in terms of the subject itself, like the things that I would speak about,
Mhm.
I mentioned it in the film a lot. My mom is my biggest inspiration for the actual subject of the film because everything that it showcases, like my love for
Mhm.
art, for music, for film now, she has played a key part in the influence that brought me to all those art forms
Mhm.
and loving them so much because
Mhm.
she is the one that taught me how to first draw and every technique that I love to use now and in art in general. And we grew up watching movies together, and it didn't, click to me until actually making that film how much of an influence she had on my decision to pursue filmmaking. Because filmmaking for me didn't come until about like 8th grade. It was actually late, and then now I'm so like deep into it. But I remember like watching movies with her when I was little, and we would actually spend time talking about what our favorite parts of the film was, like how we felt about it. And I was like, wow, like this whole time she really was playing, like, like kind of
Yeah.
puppeteering this whole thing. But I love it. And I was like, wow, like I never realized it, how like, how I did with music and art.
Mhm.
So I would have to give like a lot of credit to her, bringing me to this place in my life. And I'm just very grateful for the role she played and me having such a deep love for so many different art forms. So yeah, that's about it for the inspiration.
No, I think that's absolutely beautiful to attribute your mother as your inspiration. I'm sure she's very proud as well to feel that she's inspired you. I think it's funny. I laughed how you said, talking heads, like it's more than just watching a talking head. Now I feel like anytime I watch something I'm going to be thinking, is it just a talking head? Like you put that in my mind now. But, and you said like you came to film late in 8th grade. Nothing in life ever
Yeah.
actually comes late. Oh no, you're like laughing because it's 14. No, but I mean like there's an actor, I have to get her name, but she was in Power and she played Cookie in this TV show Power. And she didn't start until she was, I think, in her late 30s or maybe even late 40s. So anything is possible at any point. Don't ever feel like, oh, but I haven't started yet. No, you can always start. But I think that's really beautiful that you've attributed so much to your mother. Like, that's
Thank you.
truly amazing. Well, for our live viewers, Trey is going to be screening Sunday, March 29th in the Berkeley Continental from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. block. Trey, will I be meeting you in person at the film festival?
Absolutely. I can't wait to meet you guys, the whole team, and I'm gonna have a great time at the festival again this year.
Well, we hope to see you at the Garden State Film Festival this year with over 200 films screening across 9 venues, including hosting parties, panels, events, and more. Get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. Trey, I look so forward to meeting you in person, as I'm sure our live viewers are going to be as well. And I can't wait, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, you too.